what's me? How's it hanging? How's it happen? You guys know what it is. This is Kevin from the Chord Progression Podcast. The podcast on So Amazing describes as the one that initiates profound discussions with rock and metal artists, allowing fans to discover the creative work of other famed musicians and understand the factors that make the band succeed or fall from fame. We are all sponsored by Dark Fusion Systems, the best for your custom computing needs. Get $100 off your entire bill. Just go to CPPod at darkfusionsystems.com. Links to a podcast below. Now let's go to our feature presentation. Hardcore music is freaking it right now. And my God, I thought the Mugshot album was going to be Hardcore Album of the Year. This happened. We have Zach from Fox Lake on the podcast with the brand new World Heat coming out on August 1st. We not only talk about the album with the surprises that are in it, we talk about some of our favorite songs on the album, and we talk about just, my God, how great this thing really is. I seriously think that this is now Hardcore Album of the Year. And I have not been able to stop listening to it. So let's get you hyped for it. Are you guys ready? Let's go! Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, listeners of the Chord Progression Podcast, we have seen, especially over the past year and a half, maybe 2 years, just how big hardcore music has been getting. Of course, bands like Knocked Loose, Kublai Khan, Throne, Alpha Wolf as well. And there's so many other bands that keep coming up with great music, and my God, this is another one that might have the Hardcore Album of the Year for 2025, if I have to say so myself after listening through it. This band is a brand new called New World Heat, coming out on August 1st. And if you like heavy stuff, if you like absolute insanity and just great music overall, this is for you. So please welcome Zach from Fox Lake to the podcast. So Zach, welcome to the Chord Progression Podcast.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for being on, man. How is everything going in your world? Of course, we're shooting this a good number of weeks before the album release, but leading into the album release, how you feeling right now?
Feeling excited, man. Feeling really good. It's been a lot of work, accumulating over more than a year. And it's cool to kind of see it all rubber hit the road type of thing. The pieces are starting to fall into place, and we're just super excited to get these songs out and for people to hear this new album.
So I got to agree, especially from the fans' perspective, being excited for these songs to start coming out and for the full album to come out, not only from just seeing how many more people are getting into that heavier side of music, but beyond that, seeing more and more people start to pick up on Fox Lake. I've been seeing more Fox Lake merch when I go to shows every time I go. So it's okay, I'm seeing one shirt, I'm seeing two shirts. A couple of times I've seen 7 or 8. I'm like, how the hell is this happening? But don't question it because it's good music. So just roll with it.
Yeah, thanks. But we just got back from playing a show in Japan last week, and we saw a couple people with some Fox Lake merch out there, and that was so cool. So
was that your guys' first time playing in Japan though?
First time, yeah.
Okay, you got to tell us, what was that experience like going over to Japan and playing for the first time?
Dude, it was unbelievable. A couple years ago, we toured with this Japanese group called Hanabiya, and it's a group of these 4 girls. They're awesome. Mm-hmm. They're so cool. That we did their first U.S. tour with them, 2023. So made a good impression. They put on a festival. Sony Records invited us out to play with them. I think it was last week. So dude, it was really, really cool. We didn't really know what to expect, and they took such good care of us. The crowd was awesome. The reception was really cool, and it was, probably top 3 shows we've ever played, easily.
Damn, now I say I blew my opportunity because I have a Hanabiya shirt from that exact same tour back in 2023 in my closet somewhere, but I'm wearing a dark green t-shirt right now. I really blew that one, didn't I?
That's okay. How could you have known?
I should have just remembered it because, again, I was at that show. So it's okay. And the other time I saw you guys was right before that the show that you guys played in Wisconsin, at Louder Than Life in Kentucky. Yeah. And that's when I first found out about you guys. I remember I walked into that venue drunk as hell because you were tailgating the parking lot. It's okay, we walked over to Fox Lake. The pit was huge. And everyone was just doing the most ridiculous shit in there. People were doing flips, people were doing sit-ups and push-ups, and then people were just starting to throw hands. I'm like, this is too cool. Sobered up pretty quickly, too.
That'll happen. Yeah, dude, Louder Than Life was a blast. That was so cool.
Yeah, I can't remember. You guys aren't playing it this year, right?
Not this year. No, we had some conflicting stuff, but I think we played 2 years ago.
It's conflicting stuff with that lineup. I'm like, man, Fox Lake needs to be on that lineup. That lineup is fantastic, and just throw Fox Lake in there. It's come
it is
on.
Good. But yeah, we got a bunch of homies playing it, but not this year. Hopefully next year.
Well, hopefully next year, and hopefully there's a lot more stuff coming. But of course, the brand new album, New World Heat, coming out on August 1st. And with especially how big hardcore music has been getting when it came to writing this album and really working through that whole entire thing, what was the idea behind this album? And really, when it came to writing it and putting it together, what was that process like?
Yeah, so the whole thing with this album was we wanted it to be a feeling. We wanted it to be like fast and hot and kind of just like New World Heat comes from we just want it to be like a feeling you get when you listen to this album. So as we were kind of working through the songs, we're writing these songs, it's kind of more of just like what is shit that we think sounds cool. And that's kind of different than what we've done in the past. So we'd write a hook or something cool and just kind of workshop from that, and then the rest of the song kind of expands from that, and then it all kind of fell together like that. But it's really just like we tried a bunch of shit we've never done before, and I'm excited to see like what people like.
Oh, there's going to be a number of different things that people like on this album with the different things you tried on this. I mean, there's some things that are on there too. From the singles as well, people have been talking about some of like the audio samples that get put in there just to amplify the piece of the song. There are some songs on here as well that have not been released at the point of recording that do have more of those audio samples too that just amplify it. There is a central interlude song in there that I'm not going to spoil the end, like the surprise for anybody, because it's something that you won't be expecting, but it absolutely impacts the album in a completely different way than you're ever expecting. So there's a lot of surprises on this, but it's still a lot of heaviness as well.
Totally. Yeah. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, we definitely wanted to try new stuff and just kind of see like what sounded cool. We just kind of we pushed it a little bit, which is totally a cliche when bands talk about writing music, but it's just fun. I mean, it was just a fun process, and I think the end result, like you can really hear that we had a blast making it. So.
Oh, you can absolutely tell you guys had a blast making this, because I mean, I'll throw in that interlude song as well, because you don't put something like that in there if you guys aren't having a blast making this, along with a number of the different little like samples that were put in there. But a thing that really stuck out to me though was, of course, there's the nu metal influence that gets put into your music, and you hear a lot of those turntable scratches in there, which kind of evoke you back to a time of thinking of like, Limp Bizkit, Linkin Park, but it doesn't have the feeling of like it's being stuck in the 90s or the early 2000s. It feels like it is absolutely fresh coming on to this album and coming into the style of sound that you guys are working with.
Totally. Thank you. Yeah, we when we started the band, that was kind of always the goal. And when we started, it nu metal hadn't really had this resurgence yet, and so we were kind of excited to kind of like feel like we were forefronting that resurgence. And then obviously like Linkin Park and Limp Bizkit have had like these massive rebirths, which has been so cool to see. And now it's kind of come full circle, and I think like a lot of bands are kind of looking for that again. So we lean heavy into that kind of like turntable scratches. We have a DJ who is on just about every song, I want to say. And yeah, it's just shit that we think is fucking cool. So
Well, that's the other thing about music, too. It kind of has a similar thing with fashion where it's like it's cyclical. There's going to be things that are really popular at a time, then they're going to go out of fashion, go out of style, and then they're going to be brought back in a new way, in a different capacity. It's going to
100%.
always flow like that. I mean, we've seen different pieces of, funk and disco that have come back in music in a completely different way. In pop music, in hip hop, we've seen it in rock and metal too. And we've seen other combinations. We've seen other experimentations really come into the forefront to make this happen. So we have a lot of positivity that's still going through here, given those different cyclical ideas. Again, it's not about trying to take those ideas and rebirth them, but it's about to take those ideas, how you got influenced by them, and put it into your own sound and let it flow the way it does. Because when you get New World Heat, where you have the turntable scratches, you have that idea that has that feeling of nu metal in there, but it's fresh to what you guys are doing today.
Totally. Yeah. We grew up listening to all those bands, Korn and like Deftones and shit, and it's just like it's such a nostalgic piece of our memories at this point. Just like this album is really heavily influenced with like early PlayStation games and shit like that. So it's really just like we were kind of cultivating the feeling of Like this time, which was fucking sweet, and the music is cool, and got clowned on, a little bit after that. But like I think, yeah, like you said, it all comes back around, and now people are like, no, this was actually cool as fuck this whole time.
Yeah, everyone's coming back to Limp Bizkit completely. I think it was even back when they released, the album in 2021. It was like, holy shit, here they come. Everyone was so psyched for it. And now anytime you hear the name Limp Bizkit, people really only have a very positive recollection of it compared to if you had brought up Limp Bizkit back in like 2014, 2015. People in the metal sphere would have been like, you like Limp Bizkit? But they said the same thing about Metallica. They said the same thing about Creed. They said the same thing about Nickelback, and look exactly what happened. And then the bands they've talked about with that now, bringing up Sleep Token, you can see it happen with Bring the Horizon and Bad Omens. Give it another 10 years, and those bands will be the ones that in the zeitgeist of like, they were always fantastic. They were always great. They were always trailblazing, and no one's going to question it.
Yeah, dude, 100%. Yeah.
So that's really where it sits in. And when it comes to New World Heat, there's always a question I love to ask artists when there's a new album coming out, because of course there are singles that have been released on the album. That's how you're going to get an album to be known. That's how you're going to get in, the algorithm, and that's how things have always been done.
Right.
But there's always going to be songs that have not been released and won't be released until release day. So my question is not going to be what your favorite song is, because that's not a fun question to answer. The question to ask is, out of all the songs on the record that have yet to be released, which is the song you are most excited for people to hear and why?
Great question. Yeah, I that's a hard question. I think honestly, the next single that we're gonna drop is might be my favorite. Well, it's just hard. Yeah, I think I'm most excited for people to hear this next single. It was so much fun to make, and the visuals that we got with this and the music video is just like unbelievably sick. I think people are gonna like really fuck with it. So that's probably my favorite. It's fast and energetic and just like um it's a good time. So I think people are gonna like it.
Well, you're saying it's going to be the next single. Of course, we're recording this in June, but you never gave us a name of the song, and now I've got to get people into it. I mean, they'll know what the song is by the time, but I got to know what it is so I can talk about it.
That's true. Yeah. Next I don't know. I don't know if I can say it, but it's the next one to drop. It's gonna be cool.
Okay, fair enough. But then again, now I'm wondering, what song is it gonna be? Is it gonna be For the Love of the Game? Is it gonna be Freestyle? Is it gonna be Real Fast? I honestly don't know, because those are the three that I'm thinking about right now when you're talking about it and the way you described it. I'm like, it could go either way. I'm not sure, but if it's one of those three, then people are gonna probably lose their absolute minds when they hear it.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. I hope so.
Because those are the ones, especially from the songs that are not singles, those are the three that I actually was really latching onto and was really getting into. Specifically Real Fast, which is one of the shorter songs on the record too. But whatever you guys thought about, like, packing that into like a 1 minute, 19-second package, you packed everything in there. And then to like get that like feeling of, okay, this could go longer. You get to halftime and it goes in a completely different direction, but it feels like it's the right way to go after Real Fast. It's like that absolute, all right, let's slam on the brakes and let's try something different, but you have no idea why. But the transition between the two, I don't know why it works, but it just does.
Totally. Yeah. When we were writing that, literally the idea was, let's just make a song that's fat, like just fast as shit. And that's why the name is Go Real Fast. Cause it was just like, it started off as like kind of a joke, just kind of writing some shit that we thought was cool. And then, it became like one of our favorite songs. And it was really hard not to make that into a full like 3.5 minute song. Cause it just bangs so hard.
I mean, I would be curious to hear what you guys would have done with that song if you made it a full like 3 minutes, 20 seconds, 3.5 minutes. But then again, did it really need to go that long? It would have been nice to hear what it would have been. But at the same time, too, if you were to extend that further and further, then you might have, diluted the idea that the song actually was going to have at that point in time. And then, going into halftime right afterwards, it doesn't have the exact same idea. It doesn't have the exact same feel. And I'm looking at my notes and I'm like, especially for Real Fast, even for 1 minute and 19 seconds, I thought that was the best song on the record, to be honest with you.
Thank you. Yeah, it might be my favorite too. We were happy with how it ended, and we really had a debate of like, I mean, this is just so cool. We should just do it again. Like, let's repeat, let's do another verse and repeat the chorus. And we're like, no, I think it's actually kind of perfect how it is. And then going right into halftime, you almost get this whiplash effect. And that's like right at the half mark of the album. So, yeah, we're pretty stoked with how that one came out.
Now, one thing I'd be interested too is, especially, you guys going out and playing these songs live, I'm hoping Real Fast ends up being one of them, because that's one that's just going to get the pit to lose their goddamn minds. And you're going to start seeing, you might see bodies flying, you might see trash cans flying, you might see people doing like backflips into other people off of the stage doing stage dives. You're going to see a whole bunch of crap that happens in that minute and 19 seconds, but it's the catalyst for it. So I'm like, I got to see this live.
Totally. Yeah. When we were writing this album, there were a lot of those points of like, how is this going to translate live? And that one for sure was just like, this is going to be a blast.
Now, are there any of these other songs that are on the record? Of course, we already asked a couple of questions on it, but were there any when it came to making these songs that was just like more difficult than the others to put together?
Yeah, that's definitely. There's actually a couple that didn't make the cut for the album, that we really went out of our comfort zone and we're trying some new stuff. And we really kind of pushed ourselves and see like, just doing some kind of weird stuff that was definitely not comfortable for us, but ultimately we didn't really think it fit the vibe. But to be honest, like a lot of these came together like pretty seamlessly. We basically like the additional member of our band, his name is Connor, he's with a band called Mugshot. Mm-hmm. And he helps us write most of our music. And him and our guitarist Brandon, I mean, they worked really hard on this, but like really making the base of this album. And for the most part, I think a lot of these just really came naturally. And and it was just fun.
See, now I know exactly why maybe some of these other songs had a little bit more of that oomph to it too, because if Connor from Mugshot was also involved a little bit in this too, especially with the new Mugshot record that comes out on June 20th, so probably by the time this episode releases, it'll be out. I got a chance to review Mugshot too, and I was like, holy shit. Nothing's going to beat that record in hardcore for album of the year. And then here came you guys, and I'm like, well, shit.
That's a bold claim. That album is absolutely. We listened to it obviously before it was released. It's a fucking crazy front to back.
Oh, I was so happy. I got the download for it, and I've been having it on my old ass iPod for the past like month in the gym. And I'm just nice. Like, I'm enjoying this, and I'm waiting for the Fox Lake download to be added to that whole entire playlist, because it's just somewhere. You take some pre-workout, you put that on, and the next thing you know, you are lifting more than you possibly could imagine, and you're gonna just have this face in the mirror like,
oh yeah, ah! Totally, yeah, you're hitting PRs all day.
Absolutely. So that's why I'm like, I'm gonna wait to actually get the Fox Lake album on download for New World Heat. Get it on download, get it onto my old ass iPod, because I don't want any distraction in the gym. And we're gonna go for the PR and not only leg press, but bench and squat all in that day. If you find out about some weird, podcaster that ended up crumbling to his death for trying to do 3 PRs in one day, just know that I was listening to some good ass music.
Yeah, I love that. We get tagged in all kinds of weightlifting stuff, and it's such a compliment for us. I mean, it's so cool to see that.
Well, I'm not surprised. It's the energy and just the aggression that goes into your music and just the style of it. It absolutely is perfect for people that are in the gym, that are lifting. It just gets the blood pumping. It gets the adrenaline going. Why wouldn't you want to listen to Fox Lake while you're in the gym? I mean, shoot, I still do it.
Yeah.
I just want to add this album to it.
It definitely. Yeah, I love it. It's a huge compliment.
And it's another thing, too, where you could potentially look at that. It's like, okay, there's a lot of people that are working out that kind of go for this stuff. If we're making a music video for doing something online, if we're trying to create some sort of content, is there a way we can lean into that side of things and really bring more to the forefront? There's always a possibility there, because if all of a sudden there's a lot of weightlifters, I know a lot of them love heavy music. If they hear that Fox Lake wants you to use their stuff, they're probably going to use it through and through.
Totally. Yeah. We've talked about that. We've talked about leaning into that with, when we go on the road and selling, for merch, like shaker bottles and just like, duffel bags and just shit like that.
Shit, I would get a Fox Lake shaker bottle. I've got 3 shaker bottles right now, and I'm like, I could definitely use a replacement for one of them. So not a bad idea.
They always get gross, so you can never have another. Never have too many.
Oh, I try and wash them as much as possible, but there's only so much you can do before you open it up and you're like, the smell of 2 years of protein powder just festering in this plastic
disgusting
bottle.
Yeah, it's a horrible smell.
It's a horrible smell, but you know what makes that a lot better and a lot more palatable? Listening to Fox Lake and New World Heat, whether you're in the gym, whether you're driving, whether you're getting ready for a fight, or whether you're just wanting to get amped up and you get your day started on the right note. That's where New World Heat comes in.
Perfect. Love it.
Well, outside of New World Heat, of course, coming out in August, there's still plenty left of 2025. So what do you guys got on tap for 2025? For the rest of the year, I should say.
We're kind of filling out the end of this year. We're getting ready to announce a few things, some super, super exciting things. So, it's not fully locked in yet, but probably in the next month or so, we'll be announcing some cool shit, and it's gonna be a busy second half of the year for sure.
So I'm here announcing some cool shit. So what could cool shit be? Could cool shit be brand new merch? Could cool shit be their music being featured in many different video games and movies? Could it mean more live shows, which I hope it means because I want to see Fox Lake live again? Who knows what all this, crazy new shit might be, but the possibilities are endless. They might end up partnering with, whatever shaker bottle company is the most prominent out there. I can't even remember. Maybe it is Shaker Bottle. I don't know. But then all of a sudden they get the own branded thing there and it's being sold on their website instead of just at shows. You never know what might happen, but there's a lot of exciting things coming your way. So
That's right. Just got to keep an eye out.
But the one thing I can guarantee, though, is, my God, when that album drops on August 1st, you're going to see just Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, the gym world, the gym music community. You're just going to blow up and be like, and we had to wait for this that long? Why didn't we get this months earlier? I could have used this.
Right. Yeah. Hopefully, I hope that's the reaction. That's the reaction we're hoping for.
I mean, that's the reaction you're getting from me. So, and I've already listened to the album. I don't know how many times before we recorded this episode, but the day of the recording of this, I probably listened to it while I was at work like 6 or 7 times through.
Oh, hell yeah. Awesome.
So it was a good time. But I got one more question before you wraps up. So I know you got to go into your next interview. It is a question I love to ask every single artist bringing on the podcast. Done it for the past 2 years, a way for us to get to know more new music and for you to get to support the music that you love. So I'm going to limit it to 3 so we don't go overboard. But can you name me 3 bands or artists that you love that you would love to see more people get into right now?
Oh, my God. Yeah. Let's see. Our label mates is this band called Your Spirit Dies. They just released a new album. It's called My Gnawing Pains Will Never Rest, and it is unbelievably good. I think we've played with them a couple times at some festivals and stuff, and they're so they're kind of blowing up, but they're underrated for sure. So that would be my number one. A band I've been really into lately. They've been around, I think, since 2023. Is a band called Locked Shut, and it's just your pretty standard, basic, HXCX hardcore, but they've got these super recognizable hooks in their chorus, and it's just really cool. Third band, I would say, our vocalist Nathan got me onto these guys. It's a band called Weeping. They're out of New Jersey, and they're just like, it's death metal, but it is done so perfectly, and it's fucking badass.
Death metal done so perfectly. I think you sold everybody on that just by that description alone.
They are like, I don't think they're very big. They don't have a huge online presence, but yeah, I've been jamming the fuck out of them. They're so cool.
Dude, that's absolutely fantastic. And thank you for those recommendations, Zach. We always appreciate it. I hope more people get to go check out those 3 artists as well, along with Fox Lake. But if you're here, you probably know about Fox Lake already. And if you don't know about Fox Lake, well, perfect time to get to know him was just right here on this episode and when the album comes out on August 1st. So, yeah, you're winning in life right now, friends.
That's exactly right.
Exactly. Well, Zach, I want to thank you for taking the time today to join the Chord Progression Podcast. We're going to close the episode with 3 things. So first things first, everyone watching and listening, when it comes to Fox Lake, again, New World Heat comes out on August 1st, and there's plenty more coming from the band throughout the rest of 2025 and beyond. So do not miss out on any of it and go support them. The description of the podcast, which is find Fox Lake online. Links and labels for everything can be down there for social media, YouTube, where you can get the album, where you can stream it, where you can pre-save it, where you can buy it, where you can get some merch, where you can get tickets for upcoming shows. Anything you need is going to be down there. So I'm doing all the hard work for you. I'm doing all the research. Go tap the links. Go pick your favorite one. Follow along with the band. Don't miss out. Now it's time for number 2. Zach, whenever guests on the podcast, I enjoy them the podcast. I always tend to make a certain promise as a way to say thank you. I appreciate you taking the time, and I wish you continue to support the band in the future. And I think listening to this album 7 times through before we recorded this today, I think that stands that this is going to hit. So my promise is not an if, it is a when, and when I get to see you perform live for the first time. Actually, no, I've already seen you live twice. When you perform live for the third time, next time, there we go. I'm just saying first time too many times, but I will come and find you. I will come and say hello to you, but the real promise is that first round's on me.
Love it. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Now it's time for number 3. I cannot end this episode by saying goodbye. That is way too final. This album absolutely ripped. I got to make good on that promise. And I would love to have you back on the podcast again in the future to talk more about stuff you guys got going on. Heck, if there's more new music coming out, I'm all here for it. So, Zach, this cannot be goodbye. This is, I'll see you later.
Yeah.
Woo! Well, folks, I'm interviewing with Zach from Fox Lake. And now it's time for Kevin's final thought. And here's where my final thought is going to go. So, man, I love this album. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. It's heavy, it's brutal, it's aggressive, and it's fresh too with some crazy new ideas that get put in there with a lot of different things with the turntables, bringing forward a new, fresh kind of like, I think I even put in my like description a lot of number of these songs like, this sounds like it should be called new hardcore. But it's just that good. It's that fresh. It's that much fun. The adrenaline, the aggression just constantly keeps improving every step of the way. But the thing that really stands out is the fact that they took a lot of chances on this album with some of the samples. And like I brought up with Halftime, there is a surprise that is in there. And I believe it also comes at the end of the last song, Excessive Damage, as well. So this album really has this full, well-rounded feel of Fox Lake trying new things with their sound while not giving up the relentless aggression that their sound has, and they absolutely hit it every step of the way. This is definitely going to be a hardcore album of the year for 2025. When it comes to the Heavy Music Awards for 2025, I mean, they're going to have a lot of competition going up against bands like Spiritbox, Architect, Sleep Token, Whitechapel, but they're going to be up there. I mean, this is absolutely fantastic, and I don't think that you should be, sleeping on this. I want to thank Zach for coming to the podcast. Hey, when it comes to Fox Lake, go script for the podcast below. Link symbols for everything and where to find them, where to support them, where to pick up this album, where to go listen to it, where to go find them on tour, and where to go get some merch from them is all down there. Please also follow us on the Chord Progression Podcast. Link script to the podcast below. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can subscribe on YouTube if you're right down here. You can get the follow or subscribe button on Apple's Podcast and Spotify as well. Hit the like button on these episodes too to help push in the algorithm, get more people to know about great music and the Chord Progression Podcast. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy the heaviness. And that's what we're going to think about listening to the Chord Progression Podcast. My name is Kevin, and you guys know how I end every single one. That's a big, healthy, and hearty. See ya! Yeah.